Hello, welcome to my channel, Tiger Lilith Tarot. This is going to be a solar eclipse, new moon in Aries reading for Virgos. Welcome, Virgo placements. Thank you so much for being here. Welcome back. If you've been here before, welcome if it's your first time. We are going to take a look at, this is going to be a 6-month reading. We're going to take a look at solar eclipse, and that happened March 29th with the new moon in Aries, which ends a 2-year cycle of eclipses on the Aries Libra axis. The cycle began April 20th, 2023. Right. If you would like to skip ahead to the reading, just go right on ahead, because I am going to talk for a few minutes about eclipses, about what's going on in the sky, and what we'll be pulling for. So this solar eclipse energy, it's since April 20th, 2023, the eclipses have been on the Aries Libra axis. So Aries and Libra are sister signs. Aries is about autonomy, independence, a determined energy. It's the self, right? Sitting in the first house, the house of self. Who are we? Right. And then it's the opposite sign is Libra, which sits in the 7th house of relationships, community, diplomacy. So the past 2 years, we've been learning some big lessons regarding self versus relationships and how to bring those two things together. So if you know, or you can think back, if you keep a journal or look in your phones, look at photos, what was going on around April 20th, 2023, whatever was happening then, that cycle is ending March 29th with the solar eclipse in Aries, the bold Aries energy. Solar eclipses bring endings. That's the first thing that we're going to look at and pull for you, Virgo. These endings are often shocking. They're surprising, because a solar eclipse is here for our greater good, to elevate us, to take us out of situations that are no longer serving us, so that we can grow and move on to bigger and better things, and situations and people, places in our lives that do and will serve our greater good. So, because solar eclipses are known to fast track change, that's why the ending is usually sudden and unexpected, and you might not quite be ready for it, Virgo, but the universe is pushing you out of something, right, so that you can find what's better and more aligned with your path. We are going to look here. All right, we're going to pull for a few different placements. Pardon me. We're going to look at the oracle. I don't know why I'm having trouble getting words out suddenly. Maybe that's been an issue for you the past 2 years. Maybe you were having a problem saying what was on your mind, or saying what you were actually feeling. Anyhow, yeah, we're going to pull from the oracle deck here. I have 2 oracle decks combined. Then we are going to, I've got a bunch of tarot decks out here. We're going to pull from those. I will clarify with the tarot, and then we are going to finish with some inspirational / advice messages from this Spiritual AF deck that I have. It's a new one. I'm really liking it. So we'll see if you do too. Let me know in the comments. All right, so let's take a look here. Lessons. Information for Virgo. Come on, cards. All right. Let's see. Yeah, because this was a new moon in Aries ending. Aries is bold and courageous. Mars, see, I don't know why I can't speak right now. Mars is about forging ahead. So you can expect bold decisions, sudden realizations, and irreversible shifts. Trust yourself. Take the leap. That's this energy is about. And these next eclipses for the next 2 years or so are on the Virgo Pisces axis. So lots of big changes coming up for you, Virgo, possibly. But let's see, for now, what is this exciting ending? Right? And the reason this is 6-month reading is because the next solar eclipse we have is in your season, Virgo. I believe it's September 7th. What is this exciting ending for Virgos? Whether Virgo is ready or not, Spirit, what is this exciting ending? distorted perceptions. Reality is rarely what we are raised to believe it is. Distorted perceptions. So what's ending is you possibly growing out of possibly lifelong held beliefs that you learned as a child. You're realizing maybe lessons you learned as a child, things that you were told or thought. Maybe if that's not the reality anymore, as they say, the times have changed. Maybe those lessons don't apply anymore. Reality is rarely what we are raised to believe it is. So it's about, I feel like it has to do with the values and beliefs that you were raised with versus the ones that you create on your own. You're going to see things a lot clearer. You might have felt almost a little like foggy headed the past 2 years when it comes to this, especially when it comes to this, me versus we energy of this independence versus relationships. Where have you been playing it small? Because Aries is not about playing it small. It's big, bold, ferocious, courageous energy. So where have you been playing it small? So this is pretty much asking you, where should you be stepping it up? Really. Transition, moving on. Yeah, moving away from staying in one place and trying to figure out a reality that is inherently distorted. Maybe you've been trying to make sense of something that doesn't make sense. For whoever knows what reason, maybe it's not supposed to make sense. The movie Alice in Wonderland comes to mind, where it's like, whoa, what is going on here? Well, you're not meant to make sense of all of what is going on here. You're not necessarily meant to make sense of the fact that those little furry things turn into a ball that a Queen of Hearts then plays croquet with. It's nonsensical on its face. So how are you supposed to make sense of something that isn't meant to make sense? I hope that made sense. So where you've been playing it small is transition. I feel like just pulling away. And there's also of trusting yourself too. Be like, no, you know what? That's crazy. And it might not be crazy to someone else, but that's fine. It's not your reality. What's important is your reality here. So, and the reality that you are prescribing to. So where you've been playing it small is transition. If you've been wanting to make a really big move the past 2 years, but have felt stuck, I feel like that big move can happen in these next 6 months. You're going to be given the opportunity, shown some paths to transition into. Speaking of paths, what new path is Virgo ready to step into? What new path is Virgo ready to step into? Their highest good, please. Intention. Yeah, setting your own intentions, not trying to figure things out really at all. Just trusting your gut more. Do you like it? Or is this a transition you want to go down? Is this the right transition? No? Okay, never mind. Is this the right one? No? Okay. Like, not questioning it, not spinning your wheels, trying to figure it out. Intention, the new path you're ready to step into, setting your own intentions and not trying to figure out. It's also about not trying to figure out the past, too. There's a message here about not trying to figure out the past. This is also very focused energy. See, this is all distorted, and right, your ending is is distortion. You're ready for this focus. It's like this is like a funnel, and your intentions, you're just incredibly focused on, and she's incredibly focused on this and only this. Not this energy where there's this color everywhere, and she's looking around, trying to figure out what's going on around her. What's going on around you could have felt really confusing the past 2 years. Like you were in some sort of Alice in Wonderland movie. Like, what is going on? What energy to work with over the next 6 months for Virgo? Wishful expectations. Acknowledge the smoke and mirrors in your life for what they are. I feel like this actually goes really well with this distorted perceptions card. because there's this idea, right? Distortion, smoke and mirrors. I'm seeing a theme here, Virgo. The energy to work with the next 6 months is seeing things for exactly what they are. Reality, seeing material reality for exactly what it is, seeing metaphysical reality, metaphysical reality, for exactly what it is, seeing spirituality for exactly what it is, seeing this dry rose petal for exactly what it is, and exactly what it means to you. Dried rose petals can mean many things to many people. In reality, it's a dried rose petal. But to you, a dried rose petal might mean that, might be a symbol of love because you had a lover that would leave you dried rose petals. It could be a symbol of disappointment because you have dried roses from old relationships that didn't work out. You see what I'm saying here? Acknowledge, but yeah, I hope that made sense. All right. The karmic lesson of the past 2 years for Virgo, me versus we energy. Karmic lesson of the past 2 years, trust. Interesting. Leo, whose reading I did just before you, got this same card in this same position. Trust. So you, which is really interesting, especially with distorted perceptions and smoke and mirrors coming out on this exciting ending and energy to work with. It's also really, it's about being very realistic. You're going to, these next 6 months, it feels like, is a transition into it's like into a more tangible life. I wish I could say it better. But it's not that you're not daydreaming as much anymore. But perhaps you're putting daydreams into play, into motion. Because once we acknowledge smoke and mirrors for what they are, you can remove those distractions and see things much more clearly. Your vision is going to be clearer the next 6 months. And it's getting you ready for this next series of eclipses, which are going to be huge possibilities for you. Again, they're happening on your axis there with Pisces. Right. I'm going to clarify with feeling this deck here. This is the Dream Keeper's Tarot deck for those interested. All right, let's look. Let's look, Virgo. Let's take a look. This exciting ending, distorted perceptions. Reality is rarely what we are raised to believe it is. Yeah, you're letting something go from the past. This ending. What are you letting go? What was distorted? What are you letting go? The Hierophant. Wow, these are long-held beliefs and values, Virgo, that are ending for you. Long-held. The way you conduct yourself, the way you have always conducted yourself in life is done. That's ended. Like you might even seem like a brand new person to some people over these next 6 months during this transition in between the eclipses. Really. I mean, the Hierophant coming out, the Hierophant is a spiritual leader, but the Hierophant, in the traditional deck, it's the Pope, right? I mean, that is, talk about age-old ritual and tradition. That's what it's supposed to symbolize. There are some things, Virgo, that you maybe have been doing since you were a child, ritualistically, that are coming to an end. Some of you could be changing your religious beliefs, your spiritual practices. Wow, this is a huge change, Virgo. Yowza. We'll clarify and get more, too. That's okay. Your exciting ending is very clear here. It's... It's a new day for Virgo. All right, transition. Where have you been playing it small? Transition. You haven't been allowing the change. Six of Wands. This is a card. This is a card of triumph. Where have you been playing it small? Hmm. Uh, blowing your own horn is where you've been playing it small. Celebrating yourself. Letting others celebrate you. Riding, riding into town triumphant after a battle. You've been playing your successes small here, Virgo. That's going to change. That's transitioning, obviously. But you need to transition first. That's because if you're playing it small with transition, if you're just it's like, don't. This is not, these next 6 months, this is not a time for little moves for you. It's time for big moves, big changes with the Hierophant, right? Big endings, big beginnings. This feels like a incredibly pivotal time. Intention. This new path that Virgo is ready to step into. Intention. Yes, feels very focused. Very focused, very concentrated. Like magician energy here. Just really. Nine of Swords. Not that interesting. This new path you're ready to step into. Intention. Well, it's going to make you a little nervous. I'll tell you that. You might find it hard to focus on just one thing. And I could kind of see that here because everything is changed. Because your whole like way of life is ending. Your way of life as you have always known it is done. So this new path that you're stepping into, that's where it's like, okay, so not only is your way of the way you've done everything changing, but now you have to be incredibly focused about it. It feels jarring. It feels like a jarring transition. uh and it probably will feel jarring because like I just got finished saying this is big endings and big beginnings for you. Really, really pivotal energy. So this new path you're ready to step into, intention. So I feel like this Nine of Swords almost comes out just to say that you could find yourself a little bit anxious about it, a little scared, maybe in some depression, having some sleepless nights, feeling not supported. But you're feeling unsupported because there's a huge shift. People, like I said, you're going to become unrecognizable to some people. But you are supported. You just need to really trust in your powers and your abilities. And if you see big changes start happening really quickly, don't let it make you nervous. It's not it's all for your greater good, Virgo. It's just wishful expectations. Energy to work with over the next 6 months. Acknowledging smoke and mirrors in your life for what they are. What is this wishful expectations? Energy to work with over the next 6 months. Feel like grounding would be really good over the next 6 months too. Doing things that make you feel very just here, like 2 feet planted firmly on the ground. Queen of Wands energy. I like that. The energy working over the next 6 months. Very bold energy. Very fearless. It's really looking, taking like fearless inventory of what have you, what have you put on a pedestal that shouldn't be there anymore? What are you making excuses for that really, maybe there's someone in your life that you're always making excuses for and you're finally like, you know what? No, I just have to acknowledge this person is kind of a shithead. Maybe you're making excuses for yourself about certain things. I'm not trying to call you out. We all do this. These are all normal human things to do. We're all humans here. So the energy to work with over the next 6 months is to be just kind of really bold about taking stock and being almost assertive. But there's an assertive energy I'm getting too, which is strange for a queen, but it is the Queen of Wands. It's fire energy, so queen or not, fire is feminine energy or not, fire is gonna be bold and a little bit in your face. The karmic lesson over the past 2 years, trust. What's this mean? What's this here for Virgos? Trust. Why is this here? Death. Trusting that with every ending, there comes a new beginning, that endings are natural, that they happen. This is really interesting because at the bottom of the deck here, we have this card of choice, which always reminds me of the Two of, the Two of Wands, which is the card that's underneath the deck here as we finish. So that's really interesting here. You've learned a big karmic lesson over the past 2 years when it comes to trusting, making big choices, and then trusting those choices too. These are new paths for you to go down. I think the past 2 years you might have kept trying to go down the same path, and this eclipse is showing you that's not working anymore. It is time to go down a different path, to transition, to do something else. Anyway, let's get back to your karmic lesson over the past 2 years. Death. Again, this me versus we energy of Libra. It's like you had to realize some relationships end. There doesn't need to necessarily be a big blowout or a reason. It's just, you're just not aligned with those people anymore. But that endings come with the opportunity for a new beginning. I feel like your karmic lesson over the past 2 years has been just trusting the process, not trying to force anything, trusting what is happening in the universe naturally. All right. Let's clarify here, Virgo. I'm feeling this deck here for you. This is called, oh my gosh, the White Sage, I believe is what this deck is called. It has a lot of animal symbolism on it. And when I said the grounding energy, I just kind of got a sense of you just, again, especially because we're coming out of this distortion energy here. I don't know, animals are very real, very tangible. Just feels like the right choice right now. Okay. This exciting ending, whether you're ready or not. The Hierophant. Whew, everything. The exciting ending is your existence as you've known it. Okay. See anything else? Mm-hmm. You have to forgive me if my shuffling's a bit off. I cut my thumb a week and a half ago and it's not quite healed all the way. Okay. Page of Wands, the Moon, the High Priestess. Ooh, the Moon and the High Priestess. Gee, the Moon, the High Priestess with the Hierophant. Oh boy, Virgo. Okay. This exciting ending, right? It's like everything you've known to be real, everything you've known to be real since childhood it's like you're seeing the illusion. Not everything you've known, but anything that wasn't real, anything that was an illusion, here it is. It's in your face. You see it now. You cannot unsee it. You know this intuitively too, Virgo. That's the thing. Even if you're not acknowledging this, your intuition is telling you something is done. Something about how you've always perceived and looked at a certain aspect of your life, possibly your creative life in particular, uh, your artistic endeavors, creation, things that you've created. It's like you're looking at it all in a different way now. And you're going to change the way that you've been doing it. Like maybe you, I don't know, maybe you're an artist, maybe you paint, and you've always had the same kind of practice, like a ritual, how you start a painting. That's done. That's changing. It's over with. If it was, it just, it's illusions, secrets. Also, secrets are going to be revealed to you over the next 6 months. The exciting ending is that by changing how you conduct yourself in life, there's illusion is gone. It's gone for you. It's like it's like a byproduct. The loss of illusion is a byproduct of you moving through the world differently than you ever have. Well, judgment at the bottom of the deck. I just said it. I said something's done. The judgment card. It's funny because as I was saying what I was saying at the moon and the high priestess, I thought to myself, God, this is judgment card energy. I hadn't looked at the bottom of the deck yet. There, judgment card. The judgment card is about once you see something a certain way, you cannot see it a different way. You can't unsee what you've just saw. You can't unlearn what you just learned. You can't. It's an awakening. Mm-hmm. This is going to be a really learning lots of lessons the next 6 months, I think. You're going to shock a lot of people, Virgo. A lot of people. All right, where you've been playing it small, celebrating yourself, celebrating your wins. Yep, Ace of Wands. You've been holding your passion back. Ace of Wands with the Sun. Yeah. That's a lot of fire. With the Six of Wands, this is all Leo energy coming out here. Isn't that interesting? Okay, so we have the Ace of Wands, the Sun, and Justice with the Six of Wands. This is all really bold energy. Very bold. A little, like, this fairly in-your-face energy, really. So where you've been playing it small, you haven't been in people's faces. I don't know. I'm not saying become like one of those, like a stereotypical New Yorker and go up and start screaming at people. That's not what I'm saying. I know that's not how New Yorkers are. Don't you take my point, I hope. But the Ace of Wands, you've been playing it small with your passions. The Sun with your optimism, with your brightness, with your own light, and with your heart, too. Justice. There's a sense of you, kind of, over the past 2 years, you've accepted injustices done to you. Just like, oh, well, okay, I guess that happens. Yeah, I guess it happens. Not anymore. You're certainly transitioning away from that. Oh, you've been playing it small with transition, though, in general, right? Obviously, because here we have this life-changing change. Yeah, Leo Libra energy right there, where you're playing it small. Leo and Libra are there's a lot of similarities between the two signs. Six of Pentacles, interesting. Look at that at the bottom of the deck. Another card with balance, right? The balance. I don't know why I can't remember what this is called right now. Scales of Justice. Scales of Justice. You've been playing it small with getting justice for yourself, too. Kind of like, almost feels like you haven't been celebrating your wins or anything because you're not sure if you're worthy of them, you deserve them, you don't think you deserve them or something, but you do. Otherwise, they wouldn't be there. So, okay. All right. So, yeah, it's time to step up the area of transitions, big ones, big moves, big moves. What new path are you ready to step into? And, this could be uncomfortable energy here, Virgo. Although it is interesting, just thinking about this, Leo is a sign that comes before you. Libra comes right after you. I was going to say, because, you're an earth sign, and Leo and Libra are both, it's fire and air. They're more active. But you're sandwiched in between those two signs. And oftentimes, there is overlapping energy from one to the other. Whatever that means, I don't even really quite know what that means. I'm just saying, like, maybe Leos and Libras in general might become kind of important over the next 6 months in your life. The new path you're ready to step into, the Nine of Swords, this intention. Why are you so nervous? Is it because you can't focus? What are you scared of? Oh, wow. We have the Nine of Swords coming out again. All right. So the Lovers came out first, and now the Nine of Swords. It's interesting, too, because, again, I said Leo had the Lovers come out in this area, this same placement. And they are the sign before you. There might be some messages for Virgos in Leo's reading. Just saying here. The Lovers and the Nine of Swords. The Lovers, in a general reading and in a general sense, when we're not talking about love, the Lovers is about divine alignment and finding your divinely aligned path. So this new path you're ready to step into is your divinely aligned path. This focus, setting intentions. I'm getting like taking care of business here. This is like you're like kicking ass and taking names kind of energy. Like, okay, this task is done, on to the next one. This one's done, on to the next one. What do I want in my life? I need, again, intention setting. I'm sure you're familiar with intention setting. It feels like once you start doing it, it really takes off. But this is making you really nervous, Virgo. We have the Nine of Swords here again. This new path you're stepping into, while you're divinely aligned here, it's especially with this Nine of Swords energy, it almost feels like you're preparing for an attack. Like you're not trusting this energy fully. Trust it. This is what the universe wants for you. These are always messages for your greater good. The universe is not trying to pull you down. But I see you almost, feeling like you have to defend something. Oh, okay. I see. This is making a little more sense. Sorry, it was getting a bit confusing. Sometimes that happens. So, because you're changing so much with this energy over here, people, like I said, to almost someone unrecognizable, I feel like there's this anticipation of people are going to come at you and be like, oh, what happened? What are you doing? There's going to be lots of questions that you're not going to feel like answering. I feel like you're almost preparing for that with this Nine of Swords energy here twice. Like, you're going to be attacked because of all these changes that you're making. But what I would say to that, Virgo, is don't expect the worst out of people that are just asking you questions. Obviously, exercise discernment and trust yourself. But just because someone is maybe asking, like, oh my God, you're getting so much done, this intention setting, you've been so focused lately, what did you do? They might just genuinely be asking, like, because, maybe you're becoming, it could be inspirational for some people. Whoa, look at how much Virgo's getting done. They're making big moves. Things are happening in their life really quickly. What are you doing differently? they're just asking a question. So I feel like the Nine of Swords is coming out here just to say not everyone is out to get you. Okay. What energy to work with over the next 6 months? What's the energy to work with over the next 6 months? Boldly taking away smoke and mirrors. It's kind of like boldly removing the rose-colored glasses. In a fearless way. Like, I'm not afraid anymore. I'm just taking the damn glasses off. I'm not, you know what? Maybe the white picket fence isn't there. Maybe it never existed in the first place. I don't know. But that's the energy here. All right. Knight of Wands, Seven of Cups, and the Star. Nice. Okay. Energy to work with the next 6 months. Boldly, yeah. Once you really look through, and it's really interesting here that we had smoke and mirrors, because this Queen of Wands, I don't know if you could tell, she's holding up almost an opera mask. Like she's looking through the mask into the future. But it's only there's only part of her face there. She herself almost has like peacock wings. It might be a shawl though. I just love this card. I think it's really beautiful. Really pretty art. So the Knight of Wands, Seven of Cups, the Star. First off, you're going to have a whole lot of opportunities. The energy to work with over the next 6 months is once you just really focus and start getting stuff done, boldly remove any illusion that might be in your life. Knight of Wands, it really, you know what happens? This is an unexpected byproduct of removing the rose-colored glasses in a bold fashion. Your confidence goes through the roof. You're like, oh my God, I can do anything in this world. Why? I almost feel like you're gonna be like, God, why did I even have these glasses on in the first place? What was I doing with these glasses on? You're gonna be confident. You're gonna be moving in a bunch of different directions. You're going to be incredibly attractive as well. And you're going to see all the opportunities you have here. The Seven of Cups. There's going to be so many paths opened up to you the next 6 months. And one of those paths is what you've been wishing for with this Star card. You made a wish, and it's coming true over the next 6 months. At least it can. That's the energy is here for that to happen. Right? Well, you could, with all these opportunities you have here, one of them is an absolute wish fulfillment for you. Really, really nice, Virgo. Four Pentacles at the bottom. Yeah. Holding on to only what you need. It's like taking only what you need and leaving the rest. Karmic lesson over the past 2 years. This is me versus we energy. What was Virgo's karmic lesson? Clarify death. Six of Wands. That there can be life after death. That there can be happiness in a loss. That there's beauty in the breakdown. That's the energy here. That was your karmic lesson of the past 2 years. And the loss of a relationship doesn't mean the loss of you. Of who you are. That's another lesson. That's just another message I'm picking up here. Yeah, the Ace of Swords reversed at the bottom of the deck. Like I said, I feel like you've almost been kind of foggy-headed, like underwater. Things have just been so unclear the past 2 years. And now, bam. Now it's all clear. Getting rid of because the eclipse came in and was like, you know what? These distorted perceptions, they aren't serving you anymore, Virgo. I'm taking them away. All right? Oh, this has been a great reading. We're going to go ahead and end it with these spiritual as fuck inspiration and advice cards, which I've really been enjoying. I hope you enjoy. I hope you've enjoyed this reading so far. This has been a wonderful reading, Virgo. I really hope it's provided some insight, guidance, advice, or confirmation, something you're looking for. And I do have some slots open for personal readings if you're interested. My email address is below. If you want to shoot me an email, we can set up a time for us to get together and do a private reading. All right, let's see. Inspiration for Virgo, advice, messages for Virgo. Please. Anything else for Virgo here? Anything else? Advice, inspiration. Okay. Get off your ex's page. Say a prayer and go the fuck to sleep. Okay. Sorry, I don't mean to laugh. But that feels like this energy here, this death, the ending, your past 2 years, the ending. This ex, whatever, right? It doesn't need, but get off your ex's page, say a prayer, and go to sleep. Endings are good. It's okay. Once you start laughing, you start healing. I like that. We're going to put that energy. I'm going to put it right here because I feel like this is such this. Yeah. You're going to have more laughter in your life over the next 6 months here. In order to love who you are, you can't hate the experiences that shaped you. Now, that's really interesting because it almost, right, the experiences that shaped you. Reality is rarely what we are raised to believe it is. But just because it's that doesn't mean that you still can't love yourself and have loved the journey that you have taken. Yeah, right there. See what's at the bottom here. Accept the good in your life and know you're a fucking delight. There you go, Virgos. Accept the good in your life. Accept it. It's one thing for it to be there, but it's another thing for you to say, yes, you are welcome. You can come in. I accept you, goodness. Okay? All right, Virgos, it has been a delight. This was a lovely reading. I hope you all enjoyed it. Thanks so much for sharing your energy with me, and I will see you at your next one. Take care.